Hey again everyone, and welcome back to another Plowbender's Custom Creations. Today I'm going to be showing you a build that is fresh off the workbench. So what I have here is a custom 1/64 scale 1982 Chevrolet El Camino. And this was a build commissioned by the YouTuber Captain Rolls. His name's Eddie. And for those of you that watch my videos, you'll know Eddie has commissioned quite a few builds from me in the past, but none quite like this, however. And that's because what I have basically done here is replicated his car in real life in 1/64 scale. And it was one of those deals. I'll go ahead and throw up some photos as well. But back in 2016, Eddie landed his first car, being a 1982 Chevrolet El Camino. And he asked me there, he's like, can you replicate this in 1/64 scale? And I mean, I thought about it for a little while, and then I accepted, because it's like, I've faced bigger challenges. But anyways, that's where this build started. And the first obstacle that we had to overcome was trying to find a car that we could use for this build, because at the time we started this, the 82 El Camino was not available in 1/64 scale. So Eddie was able to track down a suitable car, being a 1980 El Camino, and I do have another one here I can show you. And about the only difference between the two, the 80 and the 82 that is, was the grille style. And you can see here, this one I've slightly modified already, but you can see how the headlights were set up on the 80, and also the grille had horizontal ridges in it, sorry. So yeah, you can see what I basically had to work with. And starting with the grille itself, to get the grading I wanted, I was using mosquito netting, but after several failed attempts I abandoned the idea because it just wasn't working. So I was kind of confused. It's like, what am I going to do for the grille? And Eddie came up with the idea to use the grille from the Chevy Bel Air Gasser. And after taking some measurements, I found it's like, well, damn, that fits just about perfectly with some modification. So I went ahead and sourced a couple cars online, took the grills off, only used one grill, but basically filed it down, sanded it down, and with a little bit of work, glued it into where the original grill was, and you can see how that looks, and I think that is pretty satisfactory in my books. And as for the headlights, a little bit of styrene where the original lights were, some putty and sanding and getting everything flush, and there was the final result. Went in and painted in the lights. Now, I will say that I think this would have looked better had I went in and scribed the lights into the styrene and added some relief rather than just, painting them on. But, I mean, personally, I don't think that looks too bad, especially considering what I started with. But then again, I'm criticizing my own build here, so I may have a tendency to be a little biased. But on to the rest of the car, though, there was really no modification required to the body. But one thing I did do is the real car, was painted in black primer. And what I've done here is painted this with satin black paint. And really, I don't think anyone would know the difference between the two. I mean, in my opinion, satin black and black primer, they both look the same. As long as you don't have that glossy look, I don't see where it really matters. But while we're on the topic of paint, I also went in and painted the interior. I think that is a close match to the original blue. And if you look in there, you can see that I also went in and painted details on the dash. And that's a nice little touch. And also I added the silver trim on the car, got it around the windshield here, going along the side windows. Also painted the door handles and keyholes. Trim going down along the side of the bed here, around the back window. Also got the trim on the bed rails. And you'll probably notice on the back here there should be another piece of trim. That piece of trim is actually missing off the real car, so that's why it was left off of this replica. Going for accuracy here. So, yeah. Also little details like marker lights, tail lights, backup lights, so on. And what else? Oh, also added a removable bed cover. and this was made from styrene, as you can see here, and I painted it so it looks sort of like a, you know, the vinyl bed covers. Eddie calls them tonneau covers. I mean, whatever, same thing in my opinion. But also another thing, when I make these bed covers, usually I will just super glue them onto the trucks, and that's where they'll stay. But in Eddie's case, he wanted it to be removable, so I made it removable. But one of the last things I had to do to this car was add a lift to it so it was at the proper height, just like the real thing. And if I bring in this car here, this has different wheels on it, but the axles are the same. You can see how low this car sits compared to this one. So I had to go in and add a lift kit. And that was done with some aluminum tubing, super glued to the base, and then I went in and reinforced it with some JB Weld, because I feel that makes a stronger bond. And there was the lift. And the wheels I sourced from some M2 Machines cars, and I feel like the rims are pretty close to the ones on Eddie's El Camino. So after that, oh, almost forgot, the last touch to this car was some custom license plates. And of course Eddie's got, I don't know how well you'll see this, but he's got basically a vanity plate on the front, and then on the back here also got his actual license plate. So yeah, then after that, this build was basically done, and personally I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not bad for a 1980 El Camino conversion to a 1982 El Camino. So yeah, basically right there, that is Eddie's 1982 Chevrolet El Camino 164 scale custom. And basically, now this car is done, it will be going back to him, and it will be going into his collection. And this one here that I have, this is the one I'm working on for myself. He was nice enough to buy another El Camino for me to modify. And truth be told, I will be revisiting this 1982 El Camino build, because Eddie recently had his car repainted, and he basically wants a 164 scale replica of the car in that state now too. So yeah, there will be another build, and I will be adding one of those to my collection as well. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for this video. Real quick, I want to let you guys know that I have opened a Plowbender Studios Facebook page. So if anyone wants to get in contact with me through there, or see projects that I'm up to before they hit YouTube, feel free to head over to Facebook, search Plowbender Customs. I'll also have a link down in the video description as well. So yeah, feel free to go over there, check it out. It's still pretty barren right now. I haven't finished all the little details and such, but the page will be done here in the coming weeks, surely. But anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you on another Plowbender's Custom Creations video.